Hello and welcome to the Beer Pad. Today we're going to be talking about our favorite movies of 2022. With me, as always, is my excellent co-host, the phenomenal Marcus Beer.
Hello. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey,
I'm being festive, y'all.
that's a very nice outfit. Let's check out the shirt. What's going on there? Yes, that is
It's a
phenomenal.
TARDIS being pulled by Daleks. It was a birthday gift from my darling wife.
That is
so she's got impeccable taste, and I'm wearing my TARDIS blue cardigan as well because I'm an old man.
So, Marcus, this is our 4th episode, and for the first time, I didn't introduce myself.
Oh, and I didn't introduce you.
One day we'll get the intro right.
Raymondo.
Episode 7, I think. That'll be the one.
All right. So he's Raymond, I'm Marcus. This is the TheBeeRPad. We've got a banging show. This is the first of 3 shows we're doing. So we've got best movies of 2022. Actually, four, isn't it? 4. We're going to do 4. We're going to do best movies, best TV, and then TV and movies that we are looking forward to in 2023, assuming we all live that long.
Yes.
Providing the earthquakes and the volcanoes and the Putins of this world don't kill us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do a live show towards the end of the year, which is a best video games, because that's what we all got into this. That's how we all got together in the first place. Yeah. I just have to play one more game that's on my list to see if what's
very
yours?
Odd.
What's
Final
your
Fantasy, Final Fantasy Crisis Core.
Midnight Suns.
Yeah, that one I know a little bit about, and I technically not allowed.
I'm seeing good reviews for it. Good reviews for it. So we'll see.
It is very odd though, because usually at this point all the big games are normally out, but there are some late releases that are pretty big.
We're still all over the place. I mean, it really is just all over the shop.
Is it the pandemic, or is it just a different world, or?
I think it's the pandemic, and I think it's also the slow trickle to digital. Because once you go full digital, all your digital sales start to surpass your brick and mortar sales. You cut out that middleman,
right?
Which makes it much easier. So, but we will talk about video games later down the line.
Yeah, today is all about movies.
Yeah,
so we're going to be talking about the best movies of 2022, and when I say best, I mean our personal favorite movies, because I do not believe in an empirically best movie. I think that's silly.
Because our opinions are the only ones that matter, and from the two of us, my opinion is the only one that matters. So it was basically
okay. So
it's not a top 10. It's actually it's a top 8, really, isn't it? With some notable
because there's overlap. I mean, we like a lot of the same things, but some of the things we disagree on, and that is what I will start with. Thor: Love and Thunder. I know you are not a fan.
Oh, get the fuck out of town. Come on, Ray.
It did not.
That movie has only one redeeming feature, and that redeeming feature is Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher.
He was great. I love Natalie Portman. I was nice to see her.
Look, I love her too, but she's totally wasted as Jane Foster as Mighty Thor. And so please defend it. Go on. While I open my oversized can of beer, because this is what you've just driven me to with your first bloody pick.
Driving you to drink already. I love it. I'm a big Taika Waititi fan.
I was too when I watched this movie.
I mean, I didn't like him when I first saw him in Green Lantern, because I'm still traumatized by that movie. But
I think we all are, my friend.
When I saw What We Do in the Shadows, and in theaters, actually, that I fell in love with his writing, his directing, his acting. And, he just has that quirky Kiwi sense of humor. And I love that he's brought it to mainstream movies. He can do things. He can make a movie about a little kid imagining about Hitler, but he can also
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit. Not one of Kanye's fever dreams or anything.
Yeah.
But he could also do big stuff for, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I was shocked they gave him the chance. And I was shocked how hard he hit it out of the park with Thor Ragnarok. Now, I totally get the point that he needed some restraint for Love and Thunder, and it would have been a better movie if someone could have just reeled him in a little bit. But still, I got a lot of his style that I like. He's a stylish director. He's a hilarious writer. I love him as Korg. Natalie Portman and her triceps were phenomenal in the movie. And the was it a mid credit or end credit scene with are we doing spoilers? I do not.
Oh, yes, you
Okay.
can actually. It's Barry Kent.
So with Roy Kent as Hercules.
Roy Kent, not Barry Kent.
Yes.
Barry Kent is a character from a book I read. There you go. So carry
on. What is Roy Kent's real name? Does he have one? Because I thought he was just
Brett
CGI.
Goldstein.
Yes,
Brett Goldstein.
The CGI entity known as Brett Goldstein was Hercules in the mid credit or end credit scene. I forget at this point, but I like it. It's goofy, it's wacky, it's weird. It took a really difficult comic, which spans many issues, and the history between Gore and Thor actually spans several hundred, I think over 1,000 years. But the way they were able to adapt it in a movie, I thought they did a good job with that task, a difficult task. And Christian Bale, as you said, was phenomenal. He was, you say, is the one redeeming part, but there are aspects of the movie I liked. Even little things like New Asgard becoming like an attraction, a theme park kind of deal.
I will give you that there's some touches, but my friend, let's sum up how bad the movie is with 2 words.
Okay.
Russell Crowe. It's me, I'm a Zeus. Let me strike you with my lighter bolt, and then I'll serve you some falafel, because that's what I do. Because my Greek accent is so offensive, it sounds like an Italian accent, and yet it's still better than Russell Crowe's, who is a brilliant actor. But talk about, that is one of the most offensive things I've seen committed to celluloid this year. And then we follow on with the totally unnecessary Chris Hemsworth's ass and his tramp stamp, which, nobody wants to see.
I don't know. I think there's a few million women and men in the world.
Not for me. But yeah, the problem is Taika Waititi, I think he just started believing in his own hype. He is very talented. And Ragnarok is one of my all-time favorite Marvel movies, one of my all-time favorite movies. What We Do in the Shadows, I love the movie. Really didn't like the TV show as much because it didn't really have that same cast. So yes, I accept that he is a genuine talent, but I would basically say that the last 18 months have not been good to Taika Waititi, because if you watched him in Free Guy, where he just chews up the scenery and it's just I know he's supposed to play a prick, but you wouldn't know nuance if it bit him in the ass. Then Thor, Love and Thunder, which is, like I said, which is just basically him just, oh, look at me, I can do this. Literally, he's a 5-year-old girl who's been told she can sing somewhat well and bursts into song everywhere from then on in. Your friend's funeral, your daughter's wedding. This kid is just going to sing because somebody told her she was brilliant. And then, if you want another example of Taika Waititi sort of like overstaying his welcome and needing to step back a little, just look at the vodka thing with Daniel Craig. That dance thing, that thing's just diabolical. Daniel Craig does not come out of it looking good. So that's why I think Taika Waititi needs to take a break back. I think he's just lived in his controversy. He was part of this 3-way relationship with Tessa Thompson and somebody else, I can't remember who. And it's just like, it gets to the stage where, like, are you trying to just be fancy and flash for the sake of it? It's like, dial it back in. We don't need you at 11 the entire time. And unfortunately, they crank Love and Thunder up to 11, but it's 11 on the shitter meter, not 11 on the awesome meter. So, but it is your choice. So I'm guessing I get to go now with a movie.
Yes.
And I am going to go with a better superhero movie than that one that hit us at the beginning of the year, and that's The Batman.
Yeah, I forgot that was this year until you mentioned that.
Beginning of the year. And dare I say it, people of the world and America in particular, the only time you got really good Batman is when they're British. I think that Twilight Sparkly Guy is a really good emo Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And a really good Batman. It's a great version of Batman Year Two. Obviously following on from Christian Bale again, because he's just brilliant in everything. And let's face it, your best Batman is a Welsh Batman. ID. But no, I think Paul Dano is the Riddler. Paul Dano. He was great as the Riddler.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, yeah, great as Catwoman. They happen to have a brilliant Commissioner Jim Gordon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's everything that Love and Thunder isn't. It's restrained, it's understated, it's dark, it focuses on storyline. It totally eschews the camp that you can always get with a Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good thriller that's also a superhero movie, and that basically taps back into what Chris Nolan was doing with his trilogy, where there were crime dramas that happened to be superhero movies.
Yeah.
And that we got away from so much during the Zack Snyder years. So,
but I think they went even more so with the Batman, and I love that they focused on that aspect of him being the world's greatest detective, which a lot of the movies get too actiony, and they don't really focus on the mental talents that Bruce Wayne has. And I love that this movie did that. And
I had some beautiful bits of tech in there as well.
Yeah. And I will watch Zoe Kravitz do anything. Like, she is the product of two really beautiful people,
having beautiful, talented people.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, she makes a great Selina Kyle. She really does. She plays off Robert Pattinson so well.
Yeah, and I love their height difference, because she's a tiny thing. That woman.
She is
but fierce.
Yeah,
wee but fierce.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I take my next pick? Okay, so I am going with Doctor Strange then. What I like about you really know how to dance. No, sorry. So I loved that Doctor Strange was a thriller movie, and they let Sam Raimi do Sam Raimi things, like much more so than he's ever done in the Spider-Man stuff. So there were horror. I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. A thriller, I think, is better. I don't know if you agree. Chiller. Yeah, let's go with that. Chiller. So you still had the magic multiverse Doctor Strange stuff, but you had this thriller element, which surprised me. I didn't think, of course he's known for that, but I didn't think they would let him go as far with that in the MCU. And I love that they did. I think it's one of the most distinct Marvel movies out there. I don't think it's one of the best, but it stands out. And there's quality. Some of the performances are really good. He's always good. Wanda also is always good. I mean, they're just two fabulous actors.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen is brilliant in this, and it's so interesting to watch her fall from grace via this all-encompassing grief that starts off in WandaVision.
Yeah.
So look, it wasn't by any stretch of imagination my favorite movie of the year, but I certainly enjoyed it way more than, for example, Love and Thunder. So I will agree with you that, it certainly deserves an honorable mention. And Sam Raimi is actually the perfect example to show why Love and Thunder was so wrong, because Sam Raimi did. And anybody who's watched the original Evil Dead 1 and 2 will know how the guy makes movies.
Yeah.
And he is, he's a generational talent, much like Taika Waititi, but he restrained himself at the right points.
Yeah, it's still very much a Marvel film.
Yeah.
And not a Raimi film, whereas Love and Thunder kind of, they let him, that one got away from them a bit. Yeah.
Even Hemsworth has come out and said he wants to see Thor go in a different direction for the last movie he does, which is the next one, Thor 5. So yes, I'm with you on that one. I think, I find no wrong with it. I am so disappointed that it didn't get an Oscar for special effects. I thought the visual effects on it, especially as you were going through the multiverse, and seeing the the paint verse and various other things. Those visual effects were just absolutely top draw. Maybe it wasn't eligible. Maybe it's eligible this time round for the Oscars next year. I hope so, because that's just when I watched it on the big screen.
And pretty early on, like that first monster fight. Yeah, this is a Raimi movie. Like right away, like this is going to be different. So,
and then you look at we get Mr. Fantastic.
Yes,
and we get
Professor X.
Yeah, we get Captain Carter.
Yes, and Black Bolts.
Black Star Boltagon, and we get Professor X for the first time in the bona fide MCU. We get full on Professor X, and it's Patrick Stewart, and we watch Wanda Maximoff make mincemeat of them all. In particular, the way she just she ended Black Bolt was the one that always like, oh shit, she didn't.
That's funny.
And anybody who's seen The Matrix will understand, how good that was. So that was a good one. That was a good one.
There's actually a funny meme of those Lego action figures. They had the Captain Britain one in half. So
yeah, I mean there was some gore going on in there.
Yeah,
there was some gore going on in there. So I thoroughly give that one a hearty recommendation. The next one I didn't see in the cinemas. So it's a movie on a streaming service called Hulu, and it's Prey. It's the continuation of the Predator franchise, or technically a prequel to the Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the other ones that have come. Right. And dare I say it, it's probably the best Predator movie, even topping Arnie's, in my opinion. Gorgeously shot, so well acted, a really excellent indigenous American cast.
Yeah.
It just works in that timeline. It really does work in that timeline. It took a couple of days for me to get around to watching it after it was released. And, me and the missus just curled up with a bucket of popcorn at home one night, and we were just hooked. Nice. Both loved it. I cannot say a bad thing about it. The fact that it ended up, like I said, on Hulu is a great coup for them. I'm not sure if it was released in the cinemas anywhere else
internationally, probably. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been on Disney Plus in Europe, because I know there's no Hulu over there.
Right.
But if you haven't seen it, you have to just take a couple of hours and just marvel at the characterizations, at the beautiful cinematography, the excellent action, and just the wonderful acting. I mean, and there is actually there's two different dubs of it. There is the English dub with subtitles. And I think there's I apologize if I got this wrong, but I think there's another dub that's a full Cherokee version.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
I think that's the other option on Hulu. So I would definitely recommend watching that movie.
I did not see it because I'm not a Hulu subscriber, but everyone says such phenomenal.
Free trial, my friend. Get a free trial over the festive period and go bananas.
Yeah, and binge a bunch of other things for a month while I'm there. That makes sense. Now, my next pick, a lot of people expected me to love Joe Coy's movie, which I love for many reasons, many Filipino and Asian reasons. But I actually saw another movie on a plane, which has a Filipino cast, and I thought it was even better. And this one's kind of cheating because I believe it had a really limited release at the end of last year, but the broader release was this year. So I'm going to go for The Fabulous Filipino Brothers. This movie is starring Dante Bosco, which some of you might know him from Hook. He was Rufio in Hook.
Rufio.
Yes.
Rufio.
He was in like Skittles commercials. He was in an episode of Entourage.
Talented dancer as well as an actor.
Talented dancer. Him and his brothers, who, the story, The Fabulous Filipino Brothers, is about a bunch of Filipino brothers who are all played by the actual Bosco brothers. So it's kind of neat. It's definitely a family affair. Most of the cast and crew are related. Really small budget film, but a really personal story. It's basically 3 interwoven shorts about each brother, and it all comes together at the end. But it's a family comedy / drama. So what I really liked about this movie is that it reminded me of so many situations growing up, so many relatives I had. There is the grandmother character in the movie. She wants to solve everything with Vicks, for example. So that's a very Filipino thing. I
It's a
heard a
very
lot of
British thing as
Mexican.
well. That's
Really?
a very British thing.
So Vicks is
Yeah.
just a universal thing for poor people.
Oh yeah, I mean, basically on the chest, the elbow, anything.
Is it's Vicks in the UK too? It's not like a weird brand
Vicks Sinus Rub. I think probably us filthy colonial bastards brought it over to the Philippines, so I apologize.
That's okay. I don't blame you. I will blame Spain for that one. You guys missed your chance in my islands.
My next pick is, well, nope. Jordan Peele's sci-fi movie extravaganza of a cast of 4 and a big fuck off alien. It actually only took me. I had a light bulb moment a couple of weeks ago. I was reading an article, and somebody came up with and said, "Nope. Why is it called Nope? Is it because it's an acronym for Not of Planet Earth?"
Uh-huh.
And I went, "Oh, boom!" Have you seen Nope?
No, I'm too much of a wuss to see Jordan Peele films.
It's a great sci-fi movie. Yes, it's a little in places, but it's not super scary. In fact, I was surprised at how scary it wasn't. I thoroughly recommend it. Great cast again. Keke Palmer.
Yeah, she's
this young lady is just absolutely phenomenal. As anybody who saw Saturday Night Live when she hosted a little while back, she was absolutely brilliant in that. Daniel Kaluuya, another fantastic actor. They just own the TV or the TV screen or the theater screen, or they own the movie. They're brilliant. It's just a really, really good sci-fi film with horror aspects. I thoroughly recommend it. I am not going to spoil the end of it or anything for you. I really recommend you watch it. It's I loved Get Out. Didn't like Us as much, but this one is probably my favorite Jordan Peele film. And so yes, I thoroughly recommend it. So you have to watch Nope. Get a friend around and watch it. It's streaming on Peacock right now.
I'll watch it like Saturday at 1 p.m. while the sun is still out.
It's not that scary a movie. It really isn't.
I think
it's more suspenseful.
How scared I can get, Marcus.
I'll give you a hug. It's more suspenseful than scary.
Can we talk about Jordan Peele for a second? Like, who would have thought that he would have become such an accomplished director going back, Well, obviously a lot of people know him from Key and Peele. I remember seeing him in Mad TV back in the day. And, I always thought he was talented and funny, but I never knew he can be this kind of a creative. So very cool.
Boy, he is really, really, he's come into his own ever since. He's excellent in Key and Peele with Keegan-Michael Key. Their stuff was always great, although it's always been tough for me to watch them I watch them, after, because you'll watch and then you'll go back to stuff. But ever since Dave Chappelle said that, he loved Key and Peele because they basically they were doing his show for like 6 years. It's hard to not look at it and go, okay, I can see the influence of Chappelle. But yes, brilliant duo. Jordan Peele, excellent. Who knew? Get Out was just out of the blocks. Such a U-turn with regards to, whichever way he was going. We thought he was the man.
Yeah.
But I think there's only really been one misstep. Us was not really my favorite. And then the reboot of the Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits or whatever it was that he oversaw really kind of fell flat for me. So much so that I couldn't remember which one it is. But yeah, you got to watch Nope, mate. You got to watch Nope.
I will. I will watch Prey and Nope because you said so. Now, the next movie that I'm going to talk about is something that we both enjoyed. Kevin Smith's Clerks 3. The end of his View Askew universe, presumably.
Until
obviously
he reboots something else. Until we get Chasing Amy 2, or Harvey Weinstein dies like we all hope he does, and we get Dogma 2.
Dogma. Yeah. But it had the things I expect from a Kevin Smith movie, the really dense dialogue, really fast-paced dialogue, fantastic humor, but what I wasn't expecting was how much heart this movie had. I mean, there were some moments in it where I was not prepared. Yes.
Pun intended.
Yes, pun intended.
Because there's hearts, and there's hearts breaking, there's hearts stopping, there's hearts.
Yes. There's a lot of heart issues in this movie.
Randall has the heart attack at the beginning of the movie, and then it causes him to review his life, and it's like, what the fuck have I been doing? Blah blah blah, and then he goes off on this crazy plan to do something. I mean, I don't think we can spoil it because the movie is still out on release and still on tour. But you're right, it's a great movie. It certainly has a lot of heart. And starting off with a heart attack, I mean, it kind of struck way close to home for me.
Yes.
But just like, if you're, a version of Ray who actually can't handle bittersweet endings and you cry like a baby, be prepared. It's definitely a 4 Kleenex ending, and not in a naughty way. But it's
for tears.
Yeah, it's a very emotional film, and if it is the end of the View Askewverse, it's a beautiful, touching.
What a way to go out! Yeah, and he's for people around our age. I mean, he really spoke for a lot of us that are on the nerdier side of life. A lot of his movies, a lot of the content in his movies dealt with comic books, video games, as something that those characters did. It wasn't like they were nerds because of those things. That it's just what they did. Like how
we were the outsiders. Growing up, we were, and obviously we have all covered this in our very first episode. So if you haven't watched our very first episode, go back and watch it now, because we actually we talk about the entire Kevin Smith filmography and the various other things he's done. So I think we should probably leave it there and just tell people go back and give us views for episode 1, because Kevin Smith even liked the tweet that I put out, but he didn't retweet it. But yes, you should definitely go back and watch that first episode.
That's a YouTube clip right there where Marcus calls Kevin Smith a git for not retweeting. I'm totally making.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping he watched it and while he was on the tour bus somewhere and thought, that's not bad, not a bad critique, because I think we were very, very positive. But we're a struggling young show.
Yes.
Run by 2 old struggling people, and we should he needs to give us a boost. We need
the help, Kev, please.
Come on, Mr. Smith. Snoochie Boochies. All right, my next movie, and I think you've seen this one, but it depends now. Do you feel the need for speed? It's Top Gun 2.
I do not, but go ahead.
You do not. The biggest, I think the second biggest film of the year now, after Wakanda Forever, is Top Gun Maverick. It may still be the biggest film of the year. For a franchise to go 3,000 years between installments, and for it to be the biggest movie of Tom Cruise's career. And look, it's not. Is it the world's greatest film ever? No. Is it an enjoyable bomb when the world's going to shit? Yes, it is. Is Tom Cruise the world's greatest actor? No. Does he know how to run and clench his jaw and ride a motorbike? Absolutely. He's a movie star. And I think if you judge it on movie star, on Big Bang, on Bang for Your Buck, if you judge it on that nostalgia that we all have, or a lot of us have, for the original movie, you can't go wrong. It was a very, very fun romp. And one of my favorite films of the year because it was just so unexpected. I went in expected to be kind of bored, and it wasn't. It was fun. It was fun. Miles Teller is good as Goose Jr. Or Duckling or Chicken Wing or whatever the fuck he's called.
Mallard, I don't know.
Egg. But yeah, so it's just one of my, like I said, it was just a high point, especially with shit going on, miserable shit going on left, right, and center. So the soothing balm.
I appreciate that, and I totally understand how big the movie is. Don't get me wrong, and I totally understand why people like it. It's just when I was growing up, I like, and I don't mean this in a racist way at all, but it seemed like Top Gun was something that my white friends liked, and my non-white friends just didn't care. And I don't know. For me, like Val Kilmer was like the coolest guy in the world growing up. For me, between Top Secret, Real Genius, and Willow, like I thought he was like the coolest dude ever. And Top Gun, all my white friends liked Iceman. I did not care. But I understand that they did.
Yeah, I mean, the original Top Gun is, again, it's a great piece of 80s nostalgia. It sums up the Reagan era 80s.
Yeah.
It really does. If you weren't alive then, well, basically, everything wrong with the world, you can basically trace back to the Reagan era. And that's it. End of story.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Exactly. I hope he's revolving on a spit in hell. But yes, it's like I said, and this is, look, I am not a movie critic by any stretch of the imagination. My expertise is being perhaps more of a games critic, but as somebody who consumes pop culture, as you can tell from everything that's going on behind me, I enjoyed it. And, for me to come out of a movie theater feeling I've had my money's worth and enjoyed it, I probably never have to see the movie again. But for those 2 hours, I was thoroughly entertained. The 2 hours or so, whatever it was, flew by, no pun intended. So that's why it makes my list.
I will watch it. Is it streaming yet, or I don't know?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Okay, I will check it out. I'm interested.
We should rename the show the fucking streaming info for Ray.
Hey, I will watch those 4 movies. Is it 4 or 3? I didn't see Prey, Nope, or Maverick.
Okay,
you can watch the fabulous Filipino brothers.
I'm not sure it's quite in my milieu, my wheelhouse, but I'll look it up, and then I'll find a Welsh movie for you to watch.
I keep looking for that one with the other Efan's brother.
Twin Town. Yeah. I don't think you'll find it anyway.
Not legally.
You'll find it anyway. So have you got another movie?
I do, and
I think you do, and I think I know what it is.
It is a movie that we have covered together. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
You covered it a little more than I did, if you know what I mean.
So I like this movie a lot, and part of it is the situation. These guys had such a tough task following the death of Chadwick Boseman, who was just absolutely perfect as T'Challa, and his unexpected death. How do you prepare for that? You're still committed to make a movie. Such a tough situation. In one way, there's no pressure because people can be like, well, Chadwick Boseman died. It was hard for everyone involved. And on the other hand, how do you live up to Chadwick Boseman? And I think they did a good job of respecting what he did for that character and for the MCU as a whole. Starting with the opening crawl, which I thought was beautiful. And they told their own story. Maybe there were some elements that were kind of forced. I remember you mentioned that you felt like Ironheart was a MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't think of it at the time, but yeah, you're absolutely right. And she was needed to set up her own series coming to Disney Plus in 2023, I think. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I thought it was a beautiful movie. I love the characters. The different Doras. M'Baku is
not one of them was an explorer, though.
Yeah. Yes, this is true. What's
I
his
gotta take this
face?
fucking hat off. It's too hot. Ugh.
Which Hobbit did he play?
Oh,
Freeman.
well, he played the Hobbit.
He played Bilbo, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of his name. Bilbo.
No, it wasn't Bilbo. It was Bilbo's. Was it Bilbo?
Yeah, Frodo is Lord of
Frodo's
the
the
Rings.
yes, Frodo's the right.
Bilbo is
Yeah,
the
he was
Hobbit.
he was Bilbo. Yeah, he and this is the thing, the joke obviously from a couple of years ago, that him and Andy Serkis in the original Black Panther were the Tolkien white guys. But boom, that was a brilliant joke, and I can't believe it took somebody that long to figure it out. But yes, that was actually brilliant. Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, another episode you guys should go back and watch.
Yes, you should actually, because I'm not gonna quibble. I think it's certainly the best of the Marvel movies of the year, probably. Although it has been slim pickings. But yeah, I mean, they had this huge hole. Chadwick Boseman was everything. They were right not to recast him. You can only have one T'Challa, and he was it. He embodied it, and it was strange. The Peacock channel, the app has an SNL channel, Saturday Night Live channel, and I have it on sometimes in the background while I work because it's just fun to hear the skits. And they did this episode of Black Jeopardy when Chadwick Boseman was hosting, and he did that episode, that Black Jeopardy skit as T'Challa. And you can see that he's he's lost a little bit of weight around the face, but he is just effortless. Was effortless as such a talented actor who would and should have been around for such a long time, where awards would have beckoned, and he would have been the shining star of the MCU for the next 10-15 years if he'd wanted to. So it's just horrible that he got taken away from us. But yeah, I'm not gonna quibble at all. I'm only quibbling with one movie so far of yours, because it's just stupid. Okay, my last movie and my favorite movie of the year is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
The multiverse in full effect. The best multiverse movie of the year as well. And that's saying something. After we had Doctor Strange and even Spider-Man No Way Home late last year. Michelle Yeoh and Ki Hai Kwan. Short Round in the house.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, it's a beautiful movie. I fully expect that movie to get awards nominations and wins out the yin yang, and it will be one of those things that a popular movie does, though it gets the love that it deserves, because exquisitely acted, incredibly well written,
really inventive, very original,
so inventive, absolutely freaking bonkers. I will admit to buying the hot dog fingers glove. My hands are unfortunately too big for them, but the wife has them, and she can go through, and it's really funny. You've got to watch. If you haven't watched this, it's on, I think it's on Showtime maybe, or Netflix. It's streaming here in the US. Find it on streaming. It's got to be on one of your streaming services. You've got to watch this film. It's so incredibly difficult to try and explain the plot. But great acting, lots of fantastic martial arts, a lot of comedy, a lot of pathos. It has absolutely everything, and that's why it is my number one bona fide, super cannot be argued with movie of the year. And if anybody tries to argue with me, I will say, haha, you are an idiot, sir or madam.
I will not try to argue with you, because I also think it was the best movie of the year by far. Nothing was even close for me. That isn't to say I didn't enjoy things. Obviously I did, but this was far and away and all the elements you said. It also had a surprising amount of heart too. There were some moments that you will bust out the Kleenex in the not in the
especially when
way.
you start putting two and two together later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to watch this movie. We're not going to spoil it. It's out there. Don't read another review. Don't read a synopsis or a breakdown. just go watch the friggin' movie. Please, you will thank us in your billions. Every person on this planet should watch this show, take our advice, watch that movie, and they will say, you know what? Fucking right.
Now, if I may go off on a tangent for a second, it was cool to see Data / Short Round act again after decades of not being able to get roles.
Yeah, well, he'd walked away, hadn't he? I mean, he couldn't get roles for a while after being Data in the Goonies, and Short Round in Temple of Doom. And then he said, that's it. I mean, I can't get anything decent. I'm off.
Yeah. And then he said what inspired him to give it another go was seeing Crazy Rich Asians and seeing all these different Asian actors get a chance to work. And he's like, hey, I can still act. And lo and behold, this is one of my favorite comebacks of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And it's a great performance. If he isn't nominated for awards again out the freaking wazoo as Best Supporting Actor, absolutely, he's right up there. Brilliant. Some of the heartbreak that you see, the incredulousness. I don't know.
No, you got it right. The first one was right.
But yeah, I mean, just the way he communicates is he's the perfect foil for Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh is always 100% super awesome in everything she does.
She's killing it. Because I remember when she was still Michelle Khan in Jackie Chan movies. And, she wasn't really making it big in America until Crouching Tiger. And that changed a lot of things for her. And I'm impressed that like the latter half of her career has been fantastic. So, congrats to her as well.
Yeah, and she's in the is it Bubblegum Popsicle or Bubblegum Ice Cream movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
She was obviously in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Her second Marvel role, because she was a Ravager in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That's right.
But yeah, she's just absolutely killing it. And again, she deserves all the awards coming to her, as does Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, in a supporting role. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think we got a pretty good list there.
Yeah.
Do you have any notable mentions? Anything that you wanted to throw out there as go, oh, that surprised me, or and I like that? You don't have to, because I'm totally putting you on the spot here, but
I enjoyed Licorice Pizza more than most. I know people think that's one of his worst movies in a long time.
Is that Wes Anderson or Paul Thomas Anderson?
Aren't they the same? No, just kidding. It's PT.
I don't know.
PT.
I can't stand either of their movies, so there you go. My wife loves Wes Anderson movies. I
like both.
Did he do Boogie Nights?
Yes.
All right, I sit corrected. I like Boogie Nights. That was funny. But yeah, haven't watched Licorice All Sorts.
Part of it is nostalgia because I thought Philip Seymour Hoffman was a fantastic actor, incredibly talented, and I miss his performances. So it was cool seeing his son act in a movie, and
was his son in there? Oh, okay. Well, that's on streaming now as well, so I'm gonna have to watch that one. All right.
Yeah, he's the male lead, and one of the girls from Heim is the female lead, and I didn't even know she can act. I know they're wonderful musicians.
I don't even know what a Heim is.
There are 3 sisters from LA that rock, and apparently one of them acts as well.
I'm 52 years old. I don't listen to anything unless it was released in the 80s or the 90s.
Fair enough. How about you? Anything catch you off guard?
One that was really surprising. Didn't watch it in the cinema. Watched it when it hit streaming, and it's Old by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Totally I gave up on him. I've
given up on him a few times. Anybody who watched his Avatar movie, The Last Airbender, would probably have given up on life. But I mean, then he had he hit a patch of foam, and then we got to the very horrible glass.
Yeah.
That was just so bad. But Old is It's pretty good. It's basically about a bunch of people who go to a beach and start aging very, very quickly. And it's got an interesting twist at the end for once. Not a stupid twist.
Do they see dead people?
There are some dead people. It's a little bit scary. You might need a hug. But yeah, that was like a surprise for me to watch. I watched that one and that was a surprise.
Well, good. I'm glad. Do you think that's a comeback for him, or?
Oh no, that means his next 4 movies are going to be shit.
It's a blip.
Well, that's the thing. He hits it. He does something good, and then crap. Something good, and then crap. That's just the way he works. It's his MO.
Fair enough. Now, guys, of course, we want to hear about your favorite movies. What you thought of our picks, and if any movies surprised you. So please leave some comments for us, or catch us on Twitter. All our social media stuff is up there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and drop us
probably coming soon to the Hive and to Mastodon and to Cabbage and to Fuck Knuckle and whatever else is happening, because
because Elon is going crazy. But
Elon,
we shall see. Stay tuned for our next show. We talked about movies today. Coming up next, the best TV shows of 2022. Do you want to give them a hint of anything, Marcus, before signing?
Ted Lasso's not on the list.
Ted Lasso is not on the list, but Richmond is in my heart. See, I don't know which way the camera. Yeah, on my left tit. And with that, thank you for watching The Beer Pad. We will catch you next time.